Hey there, music maker. If you're one of the noble musicians out there that works out music by ear, you have probably struggled at some point, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sitting there for long hours, trying to pick out that one note that you can't quite hear buried in the mix. If that is something that you have struggled with in the past, today I have something that may just be your knight in shining armor. I got an email a few weeks ago from Jeremy over at RipX DAW asking if I wanted to demo the software and see if it was something that I could use in my own workflow. DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation, in case you're not following me out there. So think Logic Pro, Pro Tools, Reaper, whatever your poison of choice is. Now, you're probably already thinking, Hayes, I'm really happy with my DAW. I'm already really set when it comes to audio recording. Well, my friend, this isn't your average audio recording software. In fact, if you look at the feature list on RipX DAW's website, you can see that this DAW is actually specifically tailored to solve a number of issues. But for folks like us, there are a few that pop out to me straight away. One, this software allows you to do stem separation, meaning that if you have an audio track that you're trying to work from, you can upload that to RipX DAW and it can separate every instrument out for you. Pretty cool if you're trying to work out songs by ear. RipX DAW is also really good at fixing audio. So say that you got a really good take of something, but there was one pitch that was slightly out of tune. Well, RipX DAW is really good at fixing that. Say that there was one pitch that was slightly out of time. RipX DAW can fix that too. Say that your air conditioner turned on in the background while you were recording your vocal track. Yep, RipX DAW can fix that too. Now, there are a whole slew of other features that RipX DAW has available, especially related to music creation with AI. Now, for the sake of brevity and for the sake of something that's actually relevant to me and what I do with my channel, we're going to focus on the stem separation and audio repair aspects of this software today. Let's go ahead and dive in. RipX DAW has two versions that you can purchase and download for yourself, RipX DAW and RipX DAW Pro. Now, for most of us out here that are just wanting the stem separation features, RipX DAW will probably do the trick. If you're wondering what the differences are between RipX DAW and RipX DAW Pro, this RipX DAW page actually lays it out pretty well. I would say the Audio Shop sound manipulation tools are the main reason that you would want to purchase RipX DAW Pro over the standard version. We get a lot of different tools here that are used for editing the audio, such as splitting notes into sections, manipulating the pitch, cleaning up the audio, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for some more advanced features beyond just separating stems or changing a pitch here and there, RipX DAW Pro is probably the one for you. You're probably wondering what the price difference is between the two, so if you look underneath this very intimidating photo of Fatboy Slim, remember that guy? We've got RipX DAW Pro at 198 USD and then RipX DAW at 99 USD. Okay, let's actually import an audio track here and get to work seeing what this software can do. We're going to pull in one of the tracks off of my solo album, Midwestern Swing. This one's called Losing Tread. So all you have to do is just drag and drop into the main window here, and you'll get this pop-up window that asks if you want to separate the instruments into various configurations. I'm going to select the standard options that came up here because there is a vocal track, there's a bass track, and then a couple different kinds of guitars. As you can see, it's going to take a few minutes for the software to do its thing, so while that's happening, you should definitely go over to your local streaming service and check out my album, Midwestern Swing. Oh, less than a minute. As you can see, when it's done processing, it pops up with all of these squiggly tape-like things in the DAW window here. What those actually represent are individual pitches of the song that you just imported. So if you click on one of these, it should make a sound, which is really cool. So let's take a look over here in the left. You can see the RIP and its menu up here in the top left, but we want to explore this layers panel here, the one that's already open. So you can see that it picked up on a voice, a guitar, a bass, and trumpet and violin. Already immediately skeptical. The AI stuff is not perfect. I'll say that from the get-go on this. So let's kind of hit this vocal track, then solo, and see if it managed to get a vocal track out. Looks like it maybe starts here.
Four wheels rolling through the night, last down just pulled outside, I'm moving on.
A little pitchy there, Hayes. Don't worry, we can fix that. So, it managed to get the voice pretty well. Let's check out the guitar. So, I'm immediately skeptical when I see this window because I know that there are two layered guitars plus electric mandolin and steel guitar on here, so my guess is that it put all of them into one track, just because they occupy the same tonal space. Let's check it out. That's kind of awesome, though. Let's be real, folks. Just even though it didn't separate all of the instruments individually, there's no bass, there are no vocals in there. So it's able to kind of hone in on the tonal zone of your music and pick out the instruments based upon that. It's still really awesome because check this out. Say that you were trying to figure out some of those harmonies that I worked out at the beginning. Well, like I said, each one of these little ribbons of tape represents an individual note. So cool, right? So if you're trying to work out a complex part and you can't quite hear what note it is, even if it can't separate one instrument from another, you can still click on the individual pitch and see what it is. The future is now, people. So this is really cool. And as you can already see, it tells you exactly what pitch it is if you look over here to the left. This first one is a G sharp, a C note, and an E flat, which leads me to believe that this note should be called an A flat. Thank you, enharmonic tones. Another cool thing to point out is that the AI also figures out the chords that are being played based upon all of the individual notes that pop up underneath of it. And it also figures out the timing and puts a metronome click to it. Super cool, right? You don't even need to have audio set to a click track. It will figure it out for you. So even with just this quick demo right here, we can already see the implications of this software. If you are someone that works out songs by ear and you find that difficult, $99 and you can figure out any song that you want with as simple as a click and a drag. Now, let's say, for example, that you're not just interested in transcribing someone else's recording. Maybe this is your recording, like it is for me, and you found some imperfections way down the line in post-production. Well, this audio software can actually help you clean up some really simple mistakes, like flat pitches or slight time alterations. For example,
Four wheels rolling through the night, last down just pulled outside, I'm moving on.
kind of pulled a little sharp on that last pitch. Oh. Let's see if we can flatten that one out a little bit. So if we go over to the right hand here, and under effects, there are all sort of tools that you can start to use for individual pitches. If I click this individual pitch though, and then I click, where did it go? Flatten pitch. Check that out. No more sharp bend at the end of it. Now let's put it back in context. Like butter. Ooh, and that's not even a pitch. So it's picking up on some overtones there. So the pitches should be at a C sharp right there. So let's see if we can drag all of those up to a C sharp. And then maybe flatten that pitch out too. And you know what? I don't even like those. I just deleted them. Each one starts to look the same when you play this endless game. Maybe a little less intrusive from a pitch standpoint. Each one starts to look a little AI sounding. I could probably clean that up with a little bit, but you know what? Let's just get rid of it. Each one starts to look the same. Nice. As you can already see, this is an extremely valuable tool if you've already created something. I see this being most useful for folks like myself, YouTubers, content creators, folks that are putting stuff out really quickly on the fly, shooting from the hip like we do, and not exactly spending as much time in post-production as we could be. This allows you to get a take that's good enough, upload it later, and fix it a little bit. That's right, I said, you don't need to get a perfect performance. We can just fix it in post. To me, it's all about getting the job done. What is your purpose? Is your purpose to perform a perfect take? Then perform a perfect take. Spend the time that it takes to get that. But is your purpose to put a YouTube video out tomorrow? Then maybe you can get a take that's good enough, bump that pitch up. Just my 2 cents. Like I said, another thing that you can do is even move pitches and words around here. Say I didn't like the phrasing of one of my lines. Each one starts to look the same when you play this endless game for so damn long. I kind of drew that one out. Let's see if I can shorten it up a bit.
So damn long. So damn long.
Let's see what that looks like.
This endless game for so damn long. So damn long. This game for so damn long. This game for so damn long.
So long kind of starts there. Let's see if we can separate that
So
out.
damn long.
We're going to use our little split tool.
Long.
Cutter right there. Now,
Long.
yeah, let's check that out.
Endless game for so damn long.
Okay.
So damn. So damn. So damn long. So damn long.
I just want to hear myself say damn a lot.
Long.
Let's check that out.
Long.
Yeah, nice. Now, put it back in context.
Endless game for so damn long. 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 Game for so damn long.
I kind of like it better the original way, but you can see what I'm getting at here. You can put the microscope on as fine as you want to any audio track that you've already created. I can even start to manipulate the fills that are happening in the background here. Let me get that audio track back the way it was. Now let's solo the guitar. Say that I wanted a different note there. Yeah. So, check that out. I just wrote a new line for myself.
Damn long.
I could have fun with this for hours, as you guys can already see. So if you've created music and you get a better idea in post-production, you don't even need to fret. You can almost replay your instrument with this software. Super cool. All right, now that you've seen some of the basic features that exist inside of RipX DAW, let's actually put this thing to work with a transcription that I have been putting off forever. My student Hank Allinger has been asking me for a couple months now to transcribe this version of Cherokee Shuffle that I played on my old Gibson L00 on YouTube a while back. I can transcribe with the best of them, but there is something especially difficult about sitting down to transcribe something that you yourself played. So let's see if RipX DAW can make the process a little easier for the last chorus of Cherokee Shuffle. I've managed to get 2 out there for Hank already, but let's see what happens. So I've imported my file here into RipX DAW. You can see that we've got full playback, and I'm pretty sure that this is the spot that I need to transcribe. Let me actually double check the score here real quick. Yep. So one thing that we can really use to our advantage here when we're transcribing this tune is the fact that we've got all of the pitch names over here in the timeline of RipX DAW. Absolutely love this, especially for a piece like Cherokee Shuffle, because so in the tablature I'm notating in the key of G, but this tune is actually capoed 2 played out of G position, so technically the key of A, meaning all of the real pitches that are going to be in RipX DAW need to be transposed down a whole step in order to make the tab work. Now, with the pitches already written out, that's extremely easy, but if you're trying to listen, find the pitch on the guitar, and convert, you can see how it gets a little crazy at that point. So let's see if we can use that to our advantage here. So that E note is this one right down here, the D note in the tablature. All right, looks like we're starting with a high G. And yes, I do notate with the notation. To me, it's a little faster that way, but your mileage may vary. That's actually a D note. Now that's really interesting. I love how you can see the slides in here with these little curvy lines. Pretty awesome. That's a C sharp, so that actually needs to be Make sure I'm changing the note in the right window here. Got a little slide up from a whole step down. We'll call it a grace note. So as you can see, I'm using the pitch references over here. You know, we got us back down to a root. I know to transpose that down a whole step in my tab. We're just going to crank the rest of this thing out, folks, so kick back, enjoy the ride. Nice. Always love a little bit of copy-paste action, don't we, folks? Thanks for playing the same thing twice, Hayes. Call the A part done. That was pretty easy. Like I said, I'm pretty good at transcribing already, and yes, I don't actually transcribe with the guitar in my hands most of the time. It honestly just gets in the way of me typing down the pitches. This is a really good workflow for me because I typically transcribe away from the guitar, but this actually helps give me pitch name confirmation before I put it on the tab. So this could ultimately end up strengthening your ear and your ability to take things visually and aurally from the guitar and put it onto the staff notation. So check this out. This is actually what I would have considered a wrong note in my arrangement. I probably would have liked to have played, instead of an open B string, a second fret here. So check this. Just so you know. This is an example of a passage that might actually be kind of hard for folks that aren't good with chord inversions and things like that, because I'm playing a bunch of ascending chord stacks here. So this helps me get all of my triads out. You know, I've got a root position 4 chord right there. Then I'm just sliding the bottom 2 notes up, keeping that note on top. You can see what I'm getting at. This is an example of a particularly tricky chord change that you might come into. It's kind of a G chord, but I've got my low root note, the open D string, capo 2, and then I'm hammering on from a second to a third. So it's kind of like a spread voicing. You might hear some notes in the middle there that aren't actually there, kind of like these ones. But these 3 main ones here, kind of awesome. RipX DAW just helped me transcribe something that I've been putting off for months at this point. So now that I've got this done in my notation, Hank, that tab is coming at you quick. So a lot of you may not realize you can actually import MIDI files into your notation software. So if I head back over here to MuseScore, let's make that window a little bigger now. I'm going to save my tab here. And then, so let's go ahead and try and open this up with MuseScore and see what actually happens. Oh, that's kind of awesome. Let's see what happens if we play it. So, verdict there, the MIDI file that you export may not exactly work with your notation software off the bat, but let's try one more thing. When I was in RipX over here, there was an option. Let's do export and then filter notes. Let's turn that off. And then I did MIDI simple. Let's actually leave filter notes on, MIDI detailed. Yeah, let's try it again. Overwrite that last file. Open with MuseScore. Kind of neat, but not very useful. So as you can see, for right now, you're still going to need your rhythmic knowledge and knowledge of music notation to take the information that RipX DAW is able to extract and put it into music notation. Something tells me, though, that the guys at RipX are going to be working on this in the future, because this would be a huge asset if we were able to take what was ripped in the DAW and put it in time in our notation software. That would be pretty revolutionary. So there's a bit of feedback, something that I would like to see in RipX DAW going forward, but I can say without a doubt that it's really easy to transcribe music the traditional way with the aid of RipX DAW, just because of the fact that it can separate all of those notes out of an arrangement. All right, my friend, there you have it. My little demo of RipX DAW. I can safely say that this bit of software is going to be integrated into my workflow going forward. I really love the ability to see those pitches in real time and double check my work on the fly. I also love the ability to be able to fix some tracks in post. Maybe I'll do a video on that later, but the fact that you can take a note and just drag it to where it should have been or where you wanted it to be when you were recording the tune, that's revolutionary and saves a content creator like me minutes and hours of time eventually over the long run, just so we don't have to go back and struggle over that perfect take for a video that might not necessarily need it. All right, music maker, if you are interested in grabbing your own copy of RipX DAW, go ahead and check out the links below in the description. I've also got a bunch of links down there to tutorials and videos that will show you all of the capabilities of RipX DAW and RipX DAW Pro. Lastly, a huge thanks to the team at RipX DAW for giving me this software to try out and demo for you. It's been an honor, and like I said, this is going to be a really cool tool that I now have in my own workflow. Thanks a million for watching this video, but don't go anywhere, okay? We've got more great content coming right at you here.